Welcome back to On the Porch. Today we're going to talk about health and exercise.
Yeah.
So what I want to start off with, I started working out maybe in my late 20s because I was always petite. You know, I didn't really have a lot of fat on me. I was really, really tiny. And my physique looked like I worked out. I was told that I had Angela Bassett arms back in the day. So I didn't start working out until my late 20s because then I started to put on weight. So when did you really start working out?
It was, actually, it may have been in your early 30s.
Early 30s?
Yeah, it may have been early 30s because I was in the military, I got out, a few years went by before I really started going to the gym again. And that was just kind of off and on. It wasn't, really serious until the end of 2009.
Okay.
When we both started, we were doing P90X or whatever. That's when I kind of started getting the bug, the workout bug. I was always in really good shape when I was in the Army, and I kind of slacked off before I took a contracting job in Kuwait. And that's when I really got serious,
Yes.
2010.
Because I had not seen him really, because he was hiding himself. Like when we would do what was it? Skype.
Yeah.
And I only saw his this part, his face, but there was another part to that he was keeping from me. But when he came back, it was like, this is not the same person.
Yeah, and that's because in Kuwait, we had apartments. We had apartments in Kuwait City, and we worked out in the desert. But in between time, pretty much every day, I would go to the gym. Every day I was working out, and I was eating healthy because it was so hot that I didn't eat a lot of chocolate and candy and stuff. Drinking a ton of water, and I was only getting maybe 5 hours of good sleep a day. It was workout, sleep, and eating in between there. And that was pretty much all I did for 5 to 6 days a week for almost a year. So yeah, I got in really good shape, and I had a couple guys I worked out with who they were really into fitness. And when I got the bug, and I was just in the gym all the time, and I saw my improvement, my gains just steadily increasing. And that kind of stuck with me when I came back in 2011. And that's when we were both going to the gym, and we were getting in pretty good shape. Actually, she was getting pretty strong. And I think it got to be a little too much for her after a while. Yeah, that's where I started my real fitness journey, 2010. And I've pretty much stuck with it ever since. It's it's part of me now. I can't go for so long without working out, or I feel terrible.
Yes, we were working out together, and it got to a point that my body started to fight itself. Whenever I work out, it was, we were going 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And eventually I could not lift the weight without feeling some type of pain. I could not do a lot of things, so I had to alter what I did. Because I actually was trying to keep up with him, not as far as weight lifting,
but exercising.
Just the exercise. Yeah. And he had this thing, but no pain, no pain, no gain, or something like that.
You gotta hurt a little bit.
Well, not in my case. I cannot do that. But as you get older, your body tends to change. Things starts to happen, and what I found is, after I got over 40, you get into the menopause stage and you start gaining weight. Your hormones change. And so the more I worked out, the more it seems like nothing was changing. To him, I kind of kept it steady. I wasn't as small as I was before, but I wasn't obese or...
She wasn't out of shape. Yeah, she wasn't out of shape.
And when you get older, you can't do the things you could do when you was in your 20s.
Yeah.
So when you work out, and as you get older, do you feel like there's certain things you shouldn't do because you can risk hurting yourself? Or
as you get older, it's just you don't recover as fast. So whereas I used to be able to just go hard 5 days in a row, I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. My body doesn't. I got to go to sleep. I need some recovery time. I need to relax more. So as the years went by, I started doing things like getting in the sauna before and after a workout, stretching more. I also had to make changes because I had to have back surgery. That was 2014. I had to have back surgery. That set me down for like 3 months. I had to get back in the gym and I had to take it slow. I had to kind of change my workouts. I had to be mindful of how I pick things up because I still have back problems now. So and then a year after that, I had to have foot surgery, which set me back again. I had to kind of work around that and know that the exercise I do now, I make sure that I don't overdo things because I'm at an age where I just want to kind of keep what I have. I'm not looking to become some, Mr. Olympia or anything like that. I just want to keep what I have. And it's a little bit more difficult here in Ecuador. I don't have the same access to things that I did in the States, but just recovery time is more important.
So let me ask you this. So when you're working out, do you feel that, some people go hard, they lift all these hard, heavy weights. As you get older, does it make sense to push yourself to lift these heavy weights to keep up with the younger guys in the gym, younger women in the gym? Should you do that? Or should you do what's needed for your body to stay healthy?
Well, you should do what's needed. What I'll say about keeping up with younger folks is it is very motivating.
I get the motivating
I used to work
part.
out with a lot of younger guys from my job, and it's motivating to know that I could keep up or even surpass them in many ways. And it kept me pushing myself, not to the point where I was doing anything dangerous, but just pushing myself to improve. Because, those younger guys kind of say like, man, this guy's like 10 or 15 years older than me. He's lifting everything I'm lifting or doing all the reps that I'm doing. And it's very motivating to an older person.
But
but it's not like I have to push more weight than that person, or lift more weight than that person. It's the competition aspect of kind of that trash talk, especially between guys.
I get it. I get it.
Oh man, I lifted that thing. You can't lift it.
Okay, but let's go with that. You're motivated. You're talking trash to one another.
Yeah.
And you decide, okay, they pushing 450. You decide, I'm gonna push 452. I'm just saying. Yeah. Give an example. Yeah. And you do this because your ego has stepped in. Yeah. And now you go to do it, and your back goes out, or you pull a muscle, you strain yourself.
Well, I learned to control my ego many years ago.
I get that, but I'm saying, do you feel that when men do that, they're not thinking about the consequences that they're bringing on themselves and their family member when they let their ego get ahead of them, and now you have a spouse, you got kids, whoever has to now change what they have to do to help someone who's not being conscious of the harm they could cause to themselves by working out.
Not every man has enough common sense to know when to stop, but they should. Especially if you have gym partners, they should be able to tell you, hey man, slow down a little bit, or don't try to lift that, or make sure you have a spotter. Just be smart. And that's why I said, I learned years ago just to be smart about lifting weights and exercise. And just because I might work out with younger guys, at the very least, I'm gonna say, hey, look, help me lift this, help me pick this up.
So you're basically saying you need to have a partner or people around you who are willing to tell you that's not a good idea to do that.
Yeah,
you may
let me
hurt
help
yourself.
You with that. Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about supplements? Whether it's, I don't know, people talk about creatine, they talk about all these different supplements. What are your thoughts on that?
So I'll say this. It depends on where you are, how you're progressing, and where you are in your workout journey. All right. I can give you this example. When I was in Kuwait and I really started hitting the gym hard, the only supplement I was taking was like a recovery type supplement. It wasn't a pre-workout or anything like that. It was something I took after I worked out. And honestly, I slept like a baby for like 4.5, 5 hours, and I woke up like I slept for 8 or 9 hours. Other than that, it was just eating right, drinking water. And I had massive gains. But at the same time, I had massive gains because I hadn't really worked out that hard before. So I can't say that like, oh, I needed supplements at that time, because at that time I didn't. Like I was going from, like a baseline to putting on some actual muscle. And for anyone who's just starting to work out a lot, that first few months up to a year of you working out, you're going to have massive gains. Well, at some point you're going to kind of hit a plateau, and that's when like supplements may come into effect, where you need that extra boost to get started. So you might need a pre-workout, and when I say pre-workout, some pre-workout supplement, or whatever helps you, like it's coffee in the morning, whatever. But those pre-workouts really can get you kind of pumped and get you a few extra reps, because those few extra reps will get you over that plateau.
Let me jump in right now. And he gave you his thoughts on supplements. My thoughts on supplements, I can say when I did first start working out with him, I did take a recovery. I couldn't do the pre-workout. I did.
Couldn't do the pre-workout,
okay. So
makes your eyebrows itch.
Pre-workout. I did take a scoop of his. I did not like it because I was jittery. It's almost like I had 8 cups of espresso. Maybe that's too. Okay. It was up there.
Yeah.
I did not like it, because you are pumped. You are just going at it, and it got you moving and just doing stuff. And later, after we came back, I was still awake. Like I couldn't relax. I couldn't just take a shot. I had to wait for it to flush out of my system or wear down. I did not like that. So for me, when I work out, I may have a cup of coffee and water. I may have a smoothie, but that's it. I don't eat before I work out, and I pump myself up. You get the right music in your headphones, you get your mind right, you set yourself up like, hey, this is what I'm going here to do, and you do it. And so when I get tired after doing so many reps, I move on to the next thing, and sometimes I go in between. I work my entire body out when I go to the gym, different from his regimen.
Let's split it up.
He split his up. I do a full body. I just do it all, so I can get a good sweat and I can feel great after I'm done. Now, supplement-wise, other supplements, the recovery, that did help. I did like that because I didn't have a lot of soreness from it. But the one thing I will say, when I do use a supplement, I look at the ingredients and I check out and find out what it is.
How much sugar? How much salt?
Exactly, because it doesn't make sense if I'm using a lot of sugar, or if it's high in sodium. That's not good for me.
Yeah.
I can make my own. I can put a little Himalayan salt in water. That's great. That's going to give me the electrolytes that I need. You can put a little sugar in there if you need it, but I don't need anything sweet. So I'm very health conscious about what's in the ingredients.
Yeah.
And how it's going to impact me, because I know my body doesn't need a lot of things. And so at some point when we were working out, I had to stop working out. I was having muscle spasm. I was having terrible shin splits. I was having hip issues. I was having sciatic nerve problems. So it just came to a point, and this is when we started going to boxing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed boxing, but it was just not agreeing with my body. And so I just stopped going to boxing. He goes now. And what would you say how's boxing is working for you?
This is pretty much the only way you're going to get me to do cardio. After I got out of the Army, and we were running, 4, 5, 6 miles a day. Here's the thing: I could run all day back then. But I always hated running. Running is something that she knows I do not do. Even if it's like, hurry up and get across the street because this car's coming. I'm like, hey, if I can't walk, then I'm gonna wait because I'm not. The most I'm gonna do is a slow jog. One thing she doesn't consider is that boxing is how I get cardio in, and I know it's good for my body. It's good for me to get that cardio up, get some weight down.
Yeah, it's definitely great.
Burn a lot of calories,
right.
And learn a skill.
Yeah, because
so
when I was
really
going,
enjoy it.
I did learn. I felt good. My cardio was up. I can breathe better. I wasn't getting as tired if I was doing something like exerting myself. Mm-hmm. Especially when we went to Bali and had to walk all.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
My God.
We had both been going to boxing before we went to Bali, and I know for a fact, had we not been training.
Oh yeah,
we would have been absolutely.
I would told him like, you gotta wait a minute. I need to sit on these steps.
Yeah.
I gotta take a breather. So yes, boxing was definitely great. But now I go to the gym. I do my own thing, and it works for me. We both have put on some weight.
Yeah, on that trip.
Since we have come back from our trip, so I'm a little slower now. Because I gotta get back into the groove of things, but I'll slowly get back in there.
Yeah, I gained, I think, about like 8 or 9 pounds while we were on our trip.
Yeah.
And after a week of being back, I had dropped like 2.5 from boxing.
That's great.
And I gotta weigh myself again, maybe next week and see.
I can't say the same.
See what my 1 month total is, but yeah, it's definitely something I need because the older I get, the harder it is to get rid of my midsection.
Just understand, like I try to get him to do some more stretches, like yoga, but eventually he'll get there.
Yeah, and I do stretch a bit with the boxing,
but not yoga. Yeah. It's a difference.
Yeah.
And so I will say, as you get older, do yoga. It makes you more limber. It keeps your tendons and your joints lubricated.
Stretching is very important.
Very important because, after a while you start moving stuff and you hear cracking and popping and you're like, what?
Yeah. Or you have to suddenly move something.
Oh.
And you realize later, like, oh, man, I haven't used that tendon in 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do some yoga. I have never done Pilates. I've heard people say Pilates. They really like Pilates better than yoga. I'll check it out. But yeah, when you get to a certain age, you just want to be more conscious of your body. You want to be conscious of your health, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how far you should strain yourself, exert yourself, and is it worth it? Compare it to what you felt like in your mid-30s, now that you're in your mid-40s, in comparison. You feel better now?
So I feel-wise, I think I could say that I feel better. I know that, this is 2023, so I know that, 7 to 10 years ago, I was physically stronger. And even in 2016, 17, I was in the better physical shape, better physical condition if you were looking at it. I was in the shape that I would like to be in now. But physically, especially after boxing and doing a lot of cardio, I could say that even though I may have looked better in 2016 or 17, I feel better now because I feel like I take better care of myself now.
I don't know if I can say the same. I'm not where I was 10 to 15 years ago, but I'm not too far off. I'm still healthy. I'm able to do some of the things I used to do, but just knowing, thinking about the stuff we ate, which we didn't eat unhealthy. We
were never really that unhealthy.
But it's just the access to fast foods and stuff like that.
Junk food.
Yeah, that I don't have now. if I had it then,
Yeah.
you know, I probably would be in better
Especially
shape.
fast food, because there's really like no real fast food places here at all. There's no drive-throughs.
Because it's convenience.
Yeah.
You know, the convenience of getting something fast because you don't want to cook. You go get a pizza, or you stop and, you know, oh, it's just me today. I can get me, you know, burger and fries. You know, that type of thing. I think I will get to the point where I want to be, as far as health-wise, physique-wise. It's just going to take a minute. And, you know, coming up, I'll be talking about different foods that are beneficial to your health. You know, instead of always having to get a supplement, you can eat certain foods to give you that vitamin that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And
snacks.
And snacks.
Yeah.
And how you incorporate what you eat. And if you have to take a supplement in order for it to absorb correctly. So I will be doing videos about that. We're going to talk more about our health, how we exercise, and
we're gonna have a little fun. You know, we
Yeah.
might laugh. We might do a movie review and laugh. And
yes,
yeah,
you know, there's some things I've been wanting to talk about that we don't get to share, and I know y'all out there feel the same way I do when you see some of these movies. You're like, what the hell? Like,
especially some
why
older
did we
movies.
watch this?
Yeah, especially some older movies that, you know.
Yeah.
Look, stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about The Golden Child pretty soon. So yeah.
I haven't seen it in so long, so hopefully you all will enjoy the review. So stay tuned and join me next time on The Porch. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.